Well, for this video, I will try to define the idea of the self-made man in Thoreau's Walden and Emerson's Self-Reliance. Let's see how it goes then. I will just read my text. Thoreau's Walden, or Life in the Woods, is a call for all men to appreciate life and its magnificence, and it is also an attempt for a spiritual awakening. Thoreau believed life in society had no perspective and was dead in and dry life. So he decided to take another path for living and resign himself from society for years. He decided to live in the woods, to try and have a transcendental life, to renew himself and grow spiritually. He believed a man could and should live with simple things in life. The place where he went to, more specifically, was a pond near Concord, Massachusetts, today called Walden Pond. Throughout the book, Walden, Thoreau, presents a character close to the nature, who believes that God is nature, the divine is present in his appreciations of life and nature, and this character is not necessarily himself. The book cannot be considered an autobiography, but a fiction where the narrator explores the life with joy and fulfillment, and tells his transcendental experience during those years living in the woods in form of a wish book, or a hint to show people how to live in peace with nature and God. His preferences, or interest in a more natural life, appears very early in the book when he says, "I see young men, my townsmen, whose misfortune it is to have inherited farms, houses, barns, cattle, and farming tools. Better if they had been born in the open pasture and suckled by a wolf, that they might have seen with clearer eyes what field they were called to labor in." In this passage, he implies that people should know more about their surroundings, that is, nature, and forget a little about material things, since he says that it is a misfortune to inherit without really knowing what you are really inheriting. Another textual evidence that he was tired of society life and the values of laboring in the material life is in open quotes, "It is a fool's life, as they will find when they get to the end of it, if not before," saying that the men could die before even understanding life, when they just worry about material and superfluous things. He calls it blind obedience. He complains that in society a man has no time to be anything but a machine. The self-made man in Thoreau's character is a nature lover, a philosopher, a transcendentalist who wanted self-discovery, experiences away from the society. Reflecting upon life and divinity, immersed in nature, understanding the core meaning of life and the ways of living it. Thoreau wished to live away from people, to understand society and its rules. He wanted to get closer to nature in order to develop as a human being and understand himself. He also desired divinity in his life, and the way found was to get away into an introspective world. It was an act of independency, surpassing time and space. Self-reliance in Emerson's work gives readers the importance of being oneself, the importance of believing in oneself, the importance of not just accepting others' ideas or conceptions, which does not differ much of what Thoreau wished to prove to himself, that he could live away from luxury and society by himself. Emerson believed in individual experiences, and wanted people to trust themselves to achieve great things in life, the same as Thoreau. When he wanted people to value nature and simple things to life, peacefully connected with the divine. He believed people could be more like children and trust more intensively in themselves, acting more spontaneously. The more natural, the better. The same Thoreau also believed. In other words, the self-made man is a man who has self-reliance and acts intuitively with people and nature. If people act this way, they might, as well as Thoreau, not fit in society, since a resistance against the not natural things will appear, and they will not accept and fight against conformity. He states, "Who would be a man must be a nonconformist." Like, who wants to be a man, who really wants to be a man and to live a fulfilled life as a man, must be a nonconformist. And if a person goes against nature and imitates rules, is suicide. He does not want people to be told what to do, want to feel, how to act, etc. And this is so actual nowadays, since the media dictate rules and standards which are not natural. If we don't think about it, what is the natural way to follow? You end up just being led. In this issue, he says, there is a time in every man's education when he arrives at the conviction that envy is ignorance, that imitation is suicide, that he must take himself for better, for worse, as his portion, though the wide universe is full of good. The power which resides in him is new in nature and known, but he knows what that is which he can do. Nor does he know until he has tried, and he defends that not trying is to be a coward. In this context, yeah, and that's quite alright, because if you give up without even trying, that is really a sign of cowardice. In this text, he wants to make readers believe in the original instead of the conventional, in the true heart and latent conviction instead of imitation of standards. He implies in one of his passages that men do not give the right value to their own thoughts simply because they are theirs, as in, open quotes, in every work of genius we recognize our own rejected thoughts. They come back to us with a certain alienated majesty, as if closed quotes, as if people believed better in what the others create and let aside their own hearts, feelings and thoughts, even if they feel the same as everybody else. This is conformity for him, and it is in there the great human's mistake in life. A man is relieved and gay when he has put his heart into his work and done his best. But what he has said and done otherwise shall give him no peace. It is a deliverance which does not deliver. In the attempt his genius deserts him. No muse befriends, no invention, no hope. Self-reliance is a claim for people to stand for themselves and fight for what they truly want in life. Both works, Walden and Self-Reliance, give people hope for the new nature, freer and empowered life if they just believe they can make on their own.